Alright, testing 1, 2, 3, testing 1, 2, 3, chapter 19. The days come and go, and before I knew it, it's Halloween. It's been a whirlwind of final preparation, last-minute costume fittings, and dusting town hall's cobwebs with glitter as its final touch. What makes the day even more frenzied are the visitors who arrive to join us for our voyage to the human world. Once back from my adventure, Jack and I send invitations to each of the holiday ambassadors to participate in Halloween this year. The ambassadors might not have gone as planned. Oh, hang on. Exhibition may not have gone as planned, but we still believe in the mission of fostering greater understanding between the realms. What better way than participating in one other's holiday? Come November, I brew a pumpkin cream soup and join Wewin and Pilgrim Pete for Thanksgiving town's big celebration. December, I'll help Santa Claus's elves stuff candy canes into stockings hung on mantelpieces. In February, Ruby, Valentino, and Almond Buttercup and I will whisper love spells into dewy-eyed couples' ears. But today is our day, and I shine like a moonlit queen in my sequined dress and iron crown. One after another, a motley parade of vehicles wind through the gate. A polar bear pulled sleigh, a motorized wheelbarrow, a sparkler lined float. Each of our ambassadors is here, and each dons their version of a Halloween costume. Almond Buttercup climbs out of her carriage dressed in ruby red cardinal wings with a paper bear mask, following by Catherine Shamrock dressed as a scarecrow. They complete each other in their own costume, complement each other on their costumes, then join the Halloween town residents gathering in town square. Tencel arrives with a frosty air, dressed as a scarf-wearing teddy bear. Lewin wears a gray fox mask and a fur-lined cape. Granny Bunny hops out of her motorized wheelbarrow with a set of velvet antlers affixed to a headband, giving her the perfect jackalope costume. Tom Sparkler arrives in a tall hat shaped like a firecracker with a dangling rope as its unlit fuse. As soon as I spot Scorch's tail fire, he holds up his hand in mock fright and jokes that he'd better keep his distance unless we want him to burst into fireworks. But when the stagecoach, shaped like a golden pumpkin, rolls into town, Scorch's good spirits sputter to a halt. His amber eyes go perfectly round as his ears shake back in fear. The gilded door swings open, and Lady Lore sweeps out in a pirate costume, complete with a crystal-shaped eye patch and a large tricorn hat with a golden ribbon. Her eyes locked on Scorch. Young dragon, I believe you have something that belongs to me. With his tail tucked between his legs, Scorch takes the mirror of reverence out from his bag and holds it out to her with a low bow. Scorch promises never to steal again. Scorch would like to make it up to Lady Lore. He will clean the roof of the glass castle, incinerate weeds in the rose garden, pull a flying carriage anytime Lady Lore wishes. Everyone seems to hold their breath as Lady Lore's one visible mirrored eye reveals nothing, but then she breaks into a soft smile. Scorch, the best way you can repay your debt is to represent Fabletown during this Halloween holiday. Scorch ears perk back up, his tongue lolls out. Scorch will be honored. Lady Lore embraces him with a tender hug as everyone greets one another with playful chorus of boo and speculate about what's to come once the sun sets. I keep glancing over my shoulder at the road, anxious, tugging at my dresses, ruffles. Finally, a familiar carriage rolls towards the gate. Jack, they're here, I cry. Grinning, I dash to open the gate for the carriage, pulled by a flock of puffy white sheep. My parents sat together in the driver's bench. My mother's costume is a sun, and my father's as the moon. My mother waves with a giant grin as my father draws the rambunctious sheep to a halt. Whoa, sleepyheads, he calls out. Oh, he calls. My mother soon gathers me in an embrace as warm as her sunlit mask, and my father is right behind her, spinning me in a circle like the moon itself, laughing. I step back to appreciate their costumes. You look fantastic, both of you. Yeah. My mother frames her paper mache mask. It's okay. That's okay. That's our costumes aren't scary. I rest my hand on her fabric. Yeah, I rest my hand on her fabric wrist with a twinkle in my eye. I can be frightening enough for the whole family. That's my daughter. My father teases the queen of screams. I don't think it would be possible for my smile to be broader. That means the world. It means the world to me that my parents accept me for who I am, the Pumpkin Queen, even if It's not the future they intended for me. I know they have a vision of a different life for me where I'm governor over Dreamtown. Beyond their retirement, but I also know they trust me to forge my own path. It's time, I think, to talk to them about what that path will be. But before I've even finished greeting my parents, the carriage door flies open. A girl dressed as a larger than life pixie tumbles out into a tangle of wings and wisps of stuffing with black yarn hair pulled back off her face and antenna-like braids. Sally, Luna rushes into my arms. I hug her tightly, my heart nearly to the point of bursting, and then pull back to fix one lopsided antenna on her pixie costume. That's just cute. Yeah. You look marvelous, Luna, I exclaim. Wide, I'd say you'd make an even better pixie than. I hope you aren't about to say better than me. A tiny, shrill voice by my ears says what I thought was a wasp of stuffing is Tiny Pearl, her pixie wings painted like a monarch butterfly for her Halloween costume. That's just cute. I'm sorry, that's just cute. No one could be a better pixie than you, Pearl. I say, welcome to Halloween Town. The Tooth Fairy and I agreed that Pearl would make an excellent ambassador from Tooth Town as long as she keeps her sticky fingers to herself. Pearl flutters over to the many-fanged creatures under the stairs. The creature under the stairs, oohing and awing at his monstrous teeth, which he is only too proud to show off. I need to make myself comfortable. Nick of Time pulls in on a clockwork motorcycle. Clockwork motorcycle with a fancy sundial mask in one hand. About said on one hand for some reason. He shakes my parents' hands with a precise pump. Precise pump. Albert and Greta share an honor to meet the Dreamtown governor. Such an honor to meet the Dreamtown governor. It's Greta, actually. My mother properly corrects him. He smacks a palm against his forehead. My deepest apologies here. Let me rewind a few seconds and try again. Before he could twist the dial on his wrist, I clapped my hands over his and laughing say, "Oh, please don't. I'd rather not tinker with time ever again." Nick might be used to bouncing around in time, but me, there's no place I want to be better than a better. Bleh. There's no place I want to be but the present. Ugh. As a new arrival joins the crowd, the countdown clock to Halloween clicks 1 minute closer to sunset. It's almost time for the procession to depart to the human world, but first Luna runs through the crowd to throw her arms around Scorch. With Lady Lore's blessing, he's the ambassador from Fabletown, and his costume, a polished sword, a polished shield and sword. Tonight he's a dragon and a knight. This is lovely, Sally, mother says, wrapping her arm around my back as we watch the revelry. What a brilliant idea to invite all to join in Halloween. We can scarcely wait to see you in your element. My father nods his agreement, button eyes sparkling with pride. Mom, Dad, I spare a moment for a deep breath before turning to face them. I actually want to talk to you about that. At my serious tone, their expressions shift to concern, holding their gaze. I explain in a firm voice. Explain in as firm a voice as I can. I can't take over for you as Dreamtown's governor. I know now that I don't have to decide on just one place where I can belong. I can belong anywhere. Dreamtown will always be my birthplace and hold a special part of my heart, but Halloween Town is my home for so long. I've tried to be everywhere for everyone, but now I realize that one person can't do it all. I'm divvying up my roles in Halloween Town. I'm no longer be running the haunted bed and breakfast or writing for Ghosts and Ghouls. The Witch Sisters are taking over the cafe. Ruby Valentino agreed to plan the next All Realms gathering, which means I'm free to do more of what I love, whether that's traveling with Jack or just having quiet evenings at home with absolutely nothing I'm required to do. Absolutely nothing I'm required to do. My father takes my mother's hands in his, giving her a loving look before turning back to me. We completely understand, though we would like nothing more than to leave Dreamtown to your capable hands. We want what's best for you, and we're just happy that you considered our land part of you. I cast my eyes up to where the first evening star twinkles in the sunset sky. I do very, very much so. In fact, I would like to visit Dreamtown every month on the new moon. The darkest night was always a special time for me as a child when the stars were at their brightest. It would warm my heart to spend that time with you. A tear pools in my mother's glassy eyes. We would enjoy that very much as you are our star. That embrace again a loving tangle of yarn and stuffing and laughter. The countdown clock chimes with a raven's call, a warning that sunset nears. The festive crowd lets out a delightful howl. Mom, Dad, there's one more thing. I might not be the right choice for the Dreamtown governor, but I think I know someone who could be. In a few years, I nod in the direction of Luna, who's climbed on Scorch's back and is explaining the frightening pattern of dragons. Hang on. The flight patterns of dragons to Weewin with big, exaggerated hand gestures. My father's brow lifts near to his gray curls. Luna slumberly as governor, but she's going to be a bedtime story writer like her parents. She's so talented. He still thinks of her as the shy, bookish girl who unquestionably followed her parents' footsteps. She is talented, I agree, and further and far more than just penning lullabies. Do you wonder why she chose to shadow you two as her contest prize, and why her winning lullaby was about a young girl turned queen? Deep down, Luna longs for a role where she'll have great influence over the day-to-day challenges of Dreamtown, and you have no idea how skilled she is at facing those challenges. She faced a dragon with bravery. She helped solve the magic riddle. She negotiated with the Tooth Fairy. Other towns, another town's ruler. We have already seen great potential in her, Albert. My mother pointed out, shadowing us, she took such an interest in the administration. And ever since Luna returned from her adventures, she's gained a whole new confidence. Just look at her. We all watch as Luna strides Scorch, nudging the dragon with her heels. He takes to the air, making a low circle above the townspeople heads as they cheer. His blazing tail flame light each of the candles positioned along the cemetery walls. His blazing tail flame lights each of the candles positioned along the cemetery walls. Though fire is deadly to a ragdoll, Luna doesn't even seem to break a sweat. My father strokes his chin before nodding slowly. You know, that might just be what we need in a few years. And with the proper training, Dreamtown could run by an exceptional, wise ragdoll, and we, my darling, can finally retire. My mother jokingly says, yes, please. She places a hand on her brow to feign exhaustion. As the clock bat wings continue to move towards sunset, the mayor signals for the band to quiet And he clambers to the top of his hearse to take up his megaphone. Welcome, friends, far and near. This will be a Halloween no one will soon forget. That is most certain. We would be delighted to have such distinguished ambassadors join us in our favorite holiday song before we depart for the human world. Music sheets are passed out for the visitors as the townspeople's voices raise in ghoulish harmony. Jack finds me in the crowd. He looks particularly handsome in his new outfit that I made for the occasion, a midnight blue three-piece suit with embroidered spider webs on the lapels. He takes both my hands in his as the last rays of sunlight dip beyond the horizon. Are you ready for your first Halloween in the human world? Yes. Yes, well, almost. He tilts his head in silence. The sun is sinking faster, and there's still one thing I have to do before joining the procession. I squeeze his hands. Wait for me before you leave. Of course, I would wait for you to the end of time. In fact, his brows dip down at the edge. I believe I did just that. My mind fills with the images of Jack's letter from the future, how he never stopped searching for me, and it lights me up with love to know that he'll always be mine and I will always be his. I am confident that our love will never wane. As the sun dips low, I lift up my gown's heavy hem and kick off my coffin black sandal shoes so I can more easily run up the curvy path to Dr. Finkelstein's residence. The building looms overhead like death's own shadow, though ever since Scorch moved in, cozy fire continues roaring in the fireplace, and candles flicker in each of the windows. It's no longer a cold husk, but home. Throw open the heavy doors, and I'm hit with a wave of familiar smells, a faint old trace of musty books, and ethers. Old trace of musty books and either. But there are fresher smells too, recently baked headstone muffins, cinnamon tea, beeswax candles. I climbed the spiraling ramp to the old central library, the only room that Scorch and I haven't renovated, or yet renovated. I stopped, struck by the lingering chemical odor. The truth is, I can't face this room before. As part of his punishment, Dr. Finkelstein agreed to give me unlimited access to his potions, but it brought back too many painful memories. Needles, screwdrivers, pinned grasshoppers. Being here always made me feel like I was under the microscope, that I had to be the perfect daughter, the perfect maid, the perfect cook, that my only purpose was to serve. But everything has changed now as I set one brave too damp foot over the threshold. It is no longer with the intention to serve, but to rule. My cloth fingers run over the unyielding metal tools still laid out on the work table, thick now with a layer of dust. Never been touched by Dr. Finkelstein's hand again. Never to be touched by Dr. Finkelstein's hands ever again. If I have anything to say about it, before I'm going to pass all of these tools on to Nick O'Time, Nuna, and Father Time for the clock repairs in Time Town as a thank you for helping me bring Halloween Town back the right time. For now, however, my fingers curl around the magnifying glass handle. The time-worn wood still bears the grooves of Dr. Finkelstein's claw-like fingers. Once upon a time, this bit of glass and wood gave me nightmares. Dr. Finkelstein's oversized eye peering down at me like a spider under glass. I roll my shoulders back. I roll my shoulders down and back. This isn't his home anymore. I pop the rounded glass out of its frame and heft it in my palm. It catches the light from one of Scorch's candles, casting a beautiful rainbow in a prismatic burst of color. A small gasp leaves my lips. This is the first time I've ever seen bright colors in this room. It reminds me that even the darkest times can be bright. I'm going to my old bedroom with a squeaky mattress and face the mirror hanging from a screw. And face the mirror hanging from a screw. It's dusty. The frame is warped. Frame is warped. Yet when I turn it around, it still has Jack plus Sally carved on the back. As I replace the mirror, I take off my crown and comb out my hairs, straggles, thinking back to that daydreaming teenage girl in love with a skeleton she thought would never notice her. And now Jack and I will be together for eternity. My crown still missing the crystal that was lost in Dreamtown River. While Jack and I were catching dandelion seeds, I thought about replacing it with a new crystal. The Witch Sisters offered me one of theirs, or setting it with glass made from dreamed sand. But really, this crown should represent all of me. I glue the edge of the magnifying glass lens and pop it into the frame, then set the crown back atop my head. I've had a lot of time to think about Father Time's questions about why I would want to erase my past, and I realize that these walls are much more a part of me as the gray wallpapered ones, starry wallpapered ones in my childhood bedroom, and the black window print ones I shared with Jack. Instead of erasing the past, it's time to embrace it. Dr. Finkelstein didn't believe I would ever belong anywhere, but his needle-sharp voice is gone from my head now, replaced by my own inner voice, soft as stuffing, quiet, confident, a queen through and through. I make it back to the town square just as the last purple ribbon of sunlight is swallowed by the glooming night. The moon departs. The moon departs overhead as a flock of bats take wing. The stars are cold. The stars are cool pinpricks against the midnight blue sky. A delicious shiver blows in from the cornfield, whispering of sticky sweet candy. The townspeople and the ambassadors are eagerly lining up at the gate. Everyone's costumes mean that everyone's costume mean that I hardly know which horn or mask or wings belong to whom. I blow a kiss to Scorch, unmistakable even in his costume, who will stay behind with the town children who are too young for their first Halloween. At the head of the line, Jack waits for me, his stilt-like frame perched high on the gate's rails so that he towers over the crowd. His dark eyes light up when he sees me. The crowd parts to make way for me, bowing for their ruler. My queen, Jack says, extending down a hand. It's time to begin. With Jack's help, I climb onto the gate and face my people standing at the front of the line. The mayor bounces up and down, excited, his maniacal face beaming. Zero swoops in with a flourish of his ghostly tail, circles around us with a happy bark, before coming to hover beside me, with Jack on one side and Zero on the other, and all my friends before me. I announce, monsters of Halloween Town, may this night resound with terror until dawn. May this night resound with terror until dawn. The crowd cheers and Jack throws a lever to swing open the gates. As it rumbles open, I spread my arms wide and let myself fall backwards, knowing he will be there to catch me. Sure enough, I land in the basket of his broomstick arms. His adoring gaze sweeps over me as he delicately sets me on my feet. Zero zooms overhead, tongue wagging, as his ghostly body glows with excitement to take the road ahead. Heed the way, pumpkin queen, Jack whispers in my ear. There's no time like the present. That is the end of chapter 19. The only that's left now is the epilogue. See you all next time.
Farewell,